once again. Welcome everyone. Welcome to InfoSec Train. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening as per your respective time zone. Sayam this side, and I'll be a presenter for this webinar, you can say, or this master bootcamp, and we'll be talking about the topic which is SOC. Okay. So before we jump into SOC, just let me give a quick brief about myself. As I mentioned, Sayam this side, and I have been into this field for around like 8+ years, and these are a couple of certifications or achievement which I have achieved during this entire career. And just to let you know, since many people are out there and many people are out here as well, those who are not from cybersecurity field, right? And we always have this one question that will we be able to get into cybersecurity field or not, being from another department, right? So just to let them know that I also was not from the cybersecurity field. I started from a development area, like where I used to design the websites. So from there, I jumped into the cybersecurity. So it's just for those that, cybersecurity welcomes everyone with open arms. It's just that how much efforts and how much, um, hard work you are doing into it. Okay. But yes, the answer is yes, you guys can definitely get into cybersecurity, even if you're from another department. Talking about the InfoSec train, it was established in 2016. We are one of the finest security and technology training and consulting company. Wide range of professional training programs, certifications, and consulting services in the IT and cybersecurity domain. High quality technical services are provided by us. Certifications are customized training programs curated with professionals of over 15 years of combined experience. Our endorsement, 6+ years of services, 100% pool of trainers, 250+ course offered, 70,000+ professions trained, 10+ valued partners, 250+ corporate deliveries, 24+ countries served. And why InfoSec Train? Certified and experienced instructors. Post-training completion support is also there. Flexible modes of training, tailor-made training as in like as per your custom requirements, the training can be delivered, and access to the recorded sessions. So as I mentioned, just like our today's session, every session is recorded and they are stored, and you can have access to those recorded sessions. Perfect. Now, today's agenda is over here. We're gonna talk about SOC, which is Security Operations Center, to its introduction, its purpose, importance in cybersecurity defense, evolution of it, its key components like people, process, and technology, its structure, tiered approach as in the analyst level, level 1, level 2, level 3, the type of SOC model as well. So we are going to talk about these couple of things in our entire duration of the day. Now, see, basically when we talk about SOC, okay, definition, purpose, SOC. So guys, when we talk about security, let's try to break it down. Shanaz also mentioned centralized dashboard to monitor data, and this was nice. Perfect. As I mentioned, when you talk about security, see, with the this word security means what? We are trying to protect ourselves, right, from any kind of a threat, any kind of a danger, isn't it? That's what security is all about. See, in organization, when we talk about in terms of security, what all things are there in terms of security? Can anyone tell me? Dependent, nice answer. So when we talk about security, security is managed in the organization how? We have a proper infrastructure, security infrastructure, right? We provide perimeter security, network security, application security also, right? We have policies, correct? That is also part of a security management, isn't it? From a perspective of security prevention, if you talk about, we have vulnerability assessment and penetration testing over there, trying to detect the flaws. Mahmoud Hassan Mahdi, exactly, like in a funny way, like SOC is security guard of CCTV camera, whose job is to catch the thief of organization system. Exactly, it's like we are monitoring those cameras, right, or those recordings, isn't it, which is being displayed. And as soon as a thief occurs or is trying to steal something, we will do what? We'll just press a button of we'll press a alarm button and notify everyone that there's danger, a thief is there, isn't it? Make sense? And then what happens? The guards will get to the try to catch that thief, or police will also, the cops will arrive to the location, and try to catch that thief. That is what happens, isn't it? It's when we talk about SOC also, or Security Operations Center, it's kind of a similar. It's kind of a similar only, I would say. Okay, when we talk about in terms of Security Operations Center. So as mentioned over here, Security Operations Center SOC is a centralized unit responsible for monitoring and managing an organization's security posture. It is responsible for identifying, responding to, and mitigating security threats. The key line is over here, the second one, right? A SOC team is responsible for making sure an organization is operating securely at all times. Correct. Ravindra, exactly with the help of SIM and EDR. Nice, nice. Okay, so SOC, as you guys have mentioned, it's a centralized unit. Okay, that is, it's like a business unit also, which is centralized one. It does what? It continuously monitors and analyzes whatever the ongoing activities are happening in your organization. Okay, or in organization's information systems. Like for example, in your organization you have multiple systems, right? So for example, we all are working in infosec 10, let's suppose. So Ganesh is there, Ravindra is there, Manish is also there, and Sayam is also there. Ganesh is there, Manish is there, Ravindra is there, Dipendra is there, Sayam is there, right? We all have our individual systems working on it. In order to monitor them, in order to check what is going on over there in each system, I can individually check them, right? That I can do. Individually checking the logs and all the activities of each and every system individually, that I can do. But don't you think, guys, this will be like of a hectic job? A lot of efforts will be required. A lot of complexities will be there, time consuming, because there can be many systems, right? So just these like systems, what we can do, like instead of monitoring them individually, what we do, we go with the one centralized location, and from here all the logs are sent over here where they are monitored. So it's like a what? It's like your single point of view. Okay, so SOC, what it does, it provides a single point of view through which the organization's assets are monitored, they are properly assessed and defended from the attacks or from the threats. Priyanka, yes, they are ingested to the SIM. Exactly. Here you can see a SIM solution is there. Okay. So just like we have these endpoints which I was talking about, like systems, similarly we have, like whatever the organization information systems are there, like your network, servers, your endpoints, your databases, applications, website, etc., etc., etc. All of them are being monitored in one single place. That is known as your SOC. You have to just show you on a quick notice just to make you more clear. Can you see the images, guys? Yeah, big screens are there, isn't it? You might have seen something like this in movies also. Big screens are there and individual systems are there. So here what they are doing, they're monitoring all the activities which are being performed in the organization information systems. Okay, so those activities are being monitored over here. That is what is a SOC. Clear? So with the help of this SOC, you can see we can evaluate what is our security posture, you know, um, and how strong we are. And basically it will be helping us to detect quickly if there is any intrusion, if it's there any, we'll try to detect it as soon as possible. And also we'll try to assess and, mitigate them or respond to them more effectively. Shanas, yes, absolutely. Splunk you can download. That's absolutely fine. Okay. So SOC does what? It gives you guys, it gives you a real-time alerting. Okay. It gives you what? It gives you a real-time alerting power. It's like, for example, when you go to enter, when you go into a hotel, you might have seen in those hotel rooms, what do we have? Do we have smoke detectors over there? Those smoke detectors are there, correct? So what happens if there is any fire in hotel? As soon as there is fire, the flame, the smoke will be generated, and those smoke will be detected by these smoke detectors, and they will do what? They will raise an alarm, correct? They'll raise an alarm. Along with that, they will also do what? After that, those water sprinklers will be there, right? Or you can say you will be bringing out those what do you call it? Fire extinguishers as well, isn't it? So these will be done, and this will be trying to control the fire over there, correct? So it's like similar over here, what your SOC also does. We have detections, we monitor things, we try to detect if there's any intrusion, if there is any attack happening. So as I mentioned, like what happens, SOC will be also monitoring for the any malicious activities. If there is any malicious activity, if there is any attack happens, it will raise an alarm, notify to the team members that okay, we are under an attack, and then the team will be preparing themselves to respond against that attack as quickly as possible and as effective as they can in order to control that attack. Does that make sense, everyone, now regarding the SOC? That will be job for incident response, that fire extinguishers are coming over there and trying to stop the further spread of fire. Exactly. To control it, to mitigate it, to control the impact of that fire. That is the job of incident response. So you can say that is also like under the business unit of a SOC only. Like, we try to put it inside that only. Okay, perfect. So when you talk about SOC, here it is, the importance of SOC, right? So it enables rapid detection, investigation, response to security incidents, minimizing the potential impact and ensuring business continuity. Nice. Provides proactive threat prevention and hunting via analysis and modeling. Provides the governance and compliance framework in which people operate, and process and technologies are tailored to align with that framework. Nice. So basically they're trying to tell you what is the importance of a SOC. As I mentioned before, SOC help us to make our security posture more stronger, help us to get into a proactive approaches as well, and you know every organization has its maturity model. Actually, every organization has its own maturity model, maturity level, you can say. So organization matures from level 1 to, you can say, level 5. Okay, I would say when organization is at level 1 and level 2, they are like in the initial stage, they do not have much of a security over there, and they rely on the reactive approaches. Things are not properly aligned, and they rely on reactive. Okay guys, what is the difference between proactive and reactive, since we are talking about in that way? When an attack has happened, okay, and then you are reacting on it, that is reactive approaches. Okay, like it's like you do not have any plan before. There is nothing defined before that what we will do in case if such kind of an attack occurs, or such kind of a scenario occurs, what I will do. Nothing is pre-planned, no playbook, no run book. Okay, nothing is defined, no policies, no procedures, nothing is set up over there. It's just that when an attack has happened, then we are realizing, okay, oh, we are under an attack now, and then we have to take the security measures to control it down, which gives us more of a damage. Proactive is like trying to act beforehand, trying to prepare ourselves, trying to keep ourselves ready before an attack happens. First of all, we'll try to make sure that that attack do not happen on the very first place. We try to thwart it, and in case if it occurs, we have a proper processes or procedures defined in order to handle that incident also. Another approach I would say in terms of getting an idea about the proactive approaches would be uh, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Again, can we say that it's a proactive security, a proactive approach? Vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, isn't it? Now think about it. When we talk about VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, it's more of a like, you know, we are trying to determine the vulnerabilities beforehand. So it's like we have hired a person who is a hacker only, or you can say ethical hacker who go by the rules and books, who do not have any malicious intentions. So those ethical hackers will do what? They will find out the weaknesses, those vulnerabilities in our network, in our application systems, right? And then they will make a report and tell us, okay, these are the vulnerabilities, this is how they can be exploited. They'll give us those proof of concept, POC. Okay, a report will be created for that. This will help us to fix it. So how this is a proactive approach? Because what we are doing, we are trying to determine what all weaknesses, what all vulnerabilities are present in our network, in our system, in our endpoints, before any malicious hacker finds it out and takes an advantage of it. So we try to find those vulnerabilities beforehand and trying to fix it. That's proactive. Make sense? Priyanka, exactly. I hope that makes sense. So similarly, your threat prevention or threat hunting is also done by analysis and threat modeling part, right? So as I mentioned, with the help of a SOC, what we do, we quickly detect for any intrusion, right? Because we are continuously monitoring it. Then if anything has been detected that, okay, this is something malicious going on, then we investigate against it. Okay, we investigate on it, what happened, we try to find out the root cause analysis as well over there. And in investigation, we see what all system has been infected, how much damage is occurring, every that bit of it. And we also do response, we try to contain that incident. Okay, and we try to mitigate it and eradicate and recover from those kind of incidents which has occurred, so that we can keep on continuing our business. So it's like, for example, if you have three systems, 1, 2, and 3, if they are on a same network, okay, let's suppose second system got infected with any kind of a incident, any malware might be there which got this second system infected. What we do, we take this system out of the network so that that malware will not spread to other systems. So it will be like, now 1 and 3 are there, 2 will be separate out, it will be in a containment zone. When I say containment zone, it's like a isolated zone, quarantine. Yes, Priyanka, exactly. So like you might have seen in during COVID days, you know, Corona time, when a person got infected with any COVID, you know, what we do with that person, we try to put that person into a containment zone, right? Containment as in isolated area, so that uh, that COVID will not be spread to other people, isn't it? When a person got infected with the coronavirus, we put that person into a isolated zone or quarantine area. We call, ask them to quarantine themselves so that that coronavirus will not spread out. Similarly, this second system which was infected with the malware, we put that system into a containment or a quarantined area from which your that malware will not spread out and infect others, right? And then we try to respond it on it, like, we try to mitigate it or eradicate basically that malware, remove that malware, and then we use the backups or recovery options to do what? To whatever the data has been lost, we try to put it back into that system and then put that system back into the network. Once everything is done, everything is mitigated, we put that system back into the network so that it can keep on doing its business process. Make sense? So basically, with this, your SOC, it provides a governance and compliance framework in which people operate, and process and technologies are tailored to align with that framework. So here, quick functions are given in the image also. Prevention and proactive monitoring, security intelligence. It helps with the threat intelligence part. Those logs help us to get the intelligence. Recovery and remediation, which we just talked about. Security posture refinement, see, it increases the security posture. Alert management, because alerts are generated since they are being monitored. Incident response, log management, whatever the logs are being generated from different network devices, like that example which I gave you in the previous slide. Many systems were there. So those logs which are generated in each and every device, they are being managed properly, and it helps us to get compliant as well, right? So this is basically the importance of your SOC. Okay. Another point is regarding evolution of SOC. Yes, SOC has been evolved, like you can see, from reactive to proactive approaches. Okay, more of an automation has been integrated into that, in entire along the way. So in the early stage, it was more of a, like a reactive approaches, a reactive SOC. Manual processes were there. So SOC really, it relied heavily on manual processes for monitoring, detection, and response. So the analysts, they manually reviewed the logs, the alerts, and the security events, you know, which basically obviously will lead toward it will be leading to delays in detection and in response as well. Correct. So that was like more of a reactive approach. Manual processes were there. We were having basic security tools. So SOC primary, they were using the basic security tools, like when you talk about in terms of like antivirus software, firewalls. SIMs were not also having much of a functionality. So these kind of a tools, they were providing the limited visibility, and they were reactive in nature. They were detecting the incidents once they have occurred, or they have already occurred. After that sometime they were detecting it. So it's more of a, like, slow approaches. Then we have moved, upgraded ourselves. Continuous improvement was there. We went for the more of a proactive evolution was there. Proactive SOC evolution. We improved our threat detection. Modern SOC, when we talk about, they have transition themselves. They are more of a towards your proactive approaches, proactive threat detection. So they are using, like, advanced analytics, machine learning, threat intelligence also. Advanced threat detection capabilities has been introduced in the SOC, which is helping us to detect and respond to security threats in real time, and reducing our dwell time, basically. Dwell time of attackers. So dwell time would be like, once an attack has occurred, and its detection time period, the time before this, the time between them is known as dwell time. Attack occurred, and before it is detected, before it is detected, this sort of is known as a dwell time, you can say. So with this help of this SOC and introducing threat hunting also, we try to cut down this dwell time. So we try to make it shorter so that we can quickly detect the attacker and try to respond on that, right? So that things are being also done. So we're integrating the security tools. We are focusing on integrating diverse or multiple security tools and technologies. Next generation things are also being introduced, right? Uh, we're introducing a lot of correlation rules. Automation processes are being developed. Automated response actions are being taken, right? So automation, they plays a very important role over here in the proactive SOC, I would say. It helps us to get a quick response, or quick response actions towards the incident which has occurred in the organization. So we have automated playbooks, those orchestration. Someone was mentioning SOAR, right? Yeah, this one I'm talking about. Automation orchestration over here, right? uh, and the response toward them. This is basically doing what? These automated response are streamlining our incident response processes. It is reducing our manual efforts and also our response time, right? And then we talk about in terms of evolved SOC. We have introduced threat hunting and threat intelligence also. So in proactive SOC, as I mentioned, which is helping us to reduce down the dwell time, threat hunting is also involved in that part. Proactive SOC, they are engaged in threat hunting activities to proactively identify or to look out and mitigate the potential security threats to the organization. So whatever the security incidents may be on the malware which are not visible or which has not been detected by our traditional security tools, those things are done what? Those things are being hunted down by our threat hunters only. Okay, Priyanka, that was the question, right? So if, for example, threat detection is like any attack has happened, we are trying to detect it with the SIM solution, for example. Now, in case if your SIM solution was not able to detect it, or your security tools, traditional security tools, any antivirus, firewalls, they were not able to detect any malicious traffic or malicious thing, and they're in your network now. before it can do or take any action, what you have done, you are threat hunting, continuously. While doing threat hunting, you identified there is something malicious going on, which was not looked out by your security traditional security tools. So you manually looked out for things and you found something unusual over there. So that is threat hunting. Make sense? So if there is any malware which was not detected by any antivirus, so it's still there in the system. But what you did, since you are doing threat hunting on a regular basis, you found out, okay, there is something malicious which has been added, and that which is running a process, and then you try to manually hunt for it. It's a manual approach basically. So you hunt for it, you found a malware is there, and you then respond against it. Okay, so you're manually hunting for something. That is threat hunting. Make sense, guys? So threat intelligence, threat hunting, these has also been introduced when you talk about in terms of evolved SOC. Okay, EDR you guys also mentioned. So when we talk about proactive SOC, it has integrated its SIM platform with the EDRs, and endpoint detection response solutions, your network traffic analysis tools, your threat intelligence feeds. This has been integrated into your SIM solutions, making it more stronger and more proactive. What happens when we talk about your threat intelligence feed has been integrated? In case if you guys didn't get this, what I meant with that is your threat intelligence. See, threat intelligence means trying to gather the intelligence about the attackers beforehand. Okay, so let's suppose there is an attacker, XYZ attacker. Okay, and we have what? We have a finance, we work in a finance company. Okay, finance company. We got to know that there's an XYZ attacker who is targeting the finance organization, and they're using some specific tools on malwares in order to perform their attack. Okay, so threat intelligence would be to get the intelligence about this attacking group. Okay, what kind of a malwares they are using, what are their tactics, techniques, and procedures. So, okay, so for example, if I got to know, okay, they are using a malware which has signature, I identified the signature of that malware. I identified some domains which they are using in order to perform their attack. I identified some IPs, okay, some file hashes. Now what I can do, all of these are known as IOC, by the way, indicator of compromise. That means if any such things has been identified in your network, in your system, that means you're already compromised. So in threat intelligence, what I will do beforehand, I will try to gather these kind of intelligence or informations, and then I will integrate these things in my SIM solution of my SOC. I'll integrate them over here. By integrating, I'm telling them, okay, that in case if there is any occurrence, if you identify any such things which is trying to interact with our systems or with our network, raise an alarm and notify everyone and block that traffic. Okay, so evaluation SOC, initially SOC for primary reactive, responding to security incidents after they occurred, relied heavily on manual processes and basic security tools. Over time, SOCs have evolved to adopt a more proactive approach. Modern SOC have embraced integration and automation, enabling seamless collaboration between security tools and the processes. So orchestration and automation has been introduced. Which helps to automate the process for you. Less of a manual work is there. Here are your key components of your SOC, guys. What do we have? We have key components of your SOC. We have people, technology, and your process. These are known as your components. Hari, right, that is the correct thing. Okay. So basically, when we talk about SOC, obviously in SOC, these three things are there. It is revolving around these three things only, right? So SOC, what it does, it requires your cooperation and communication between the people. Okay, people would be like these things, guys, like your analysts, your operators, administrators, all of them will be considered as a people only. They will do what? They will monitor and they will analyze your organization's infra, IT infra. Okay, so they'll be monitoring and they'll be analyzing the organization's IT infra, I would say, using your processes, procedures, and technology over there. Okay, So here we need the skilled people like your L1 analyst, L2 analyst. We are talking about them only, right? SOC analyst L1, SOC analyst L2, So they should have proper knowledge. Okay, they should know what they are doing in terms of performing the operation. So, so processes over here. If we talk about processes establish protocols and ensure systematic management within the SOC. Okay, so as I was saying, and I'm trying to get a connection between all of these three. Okay, I was just keep on saying till this now. I just saw a message. I was not audible. Then I refreshed it. Anyway, yeah. So I was saying, when we talk about technology, people, technology, and process, I'm trying to create a connection between them. So when I talk about technology, technology would be including everything like utilization of various applications, software tailored to monitoring, detection, and responding. It's like uh, technology you can consider SIM solution, any Splunk which your SOC business unit uses. Here, what happens? Your firewalls, their logs, routers. It's just like the combination of all of these things, guys. IDS, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system. Your routers, your server logs, your web logs. All of these things are being ingested to the SIM. Okay, to the SIM solutions. It's like these are considered as a technology only. Okay, and these things are being operated by whom? By your people, right? Your L1 analyst, SOC L1 analyst, which also pass on the ticket to L2 analyst. These are what? These are people. So when we talk about the processes, guys, when we're talking about the process actually is the connection between people and technology. That is what process I would say. Okay, so it makes sure they see systematic management here, systematic management within the SOC, how people are handling the technology, how they are reporting also. Like in the organization, what happens whenever any incident occurs, no, when it has been detected. So our team does what? They raise an alarm and they raise a ticket and pass it to their senior analyst. So just for example, L1 analyst will do what? Your L1 analyst, they will raise a ticket and notify these things that okay, this thing has occurred, pass it to L2 analyst. This L2 analyst will do what? If they're able to handle, they will investigate on it, and then they will escalate this thing to the incident response team, you can say, to other high level team. Okay, they will escalate these things using tickets only. And then they will respond against that incident and close it. Tell them that okay, case has been closed. So this is what this entire thing, how L1 are using the SIM tools, how things are being integrated into SIM tools, how things has to be escalated, how there will be the flow, everything is defined by the proper process only. Make sense? So the process will be having what? Preparation, conclusion, detection, reaction, reporting, calculation, proper communication path as well. People will be like, team training, courses, experience theory. You can say like basically that, their uh, the position which you're talking about, the incident responder, the SOC analyst, L1, L2, the digital forensic team, the threat hunters, all of these people will be considered as your team, or you can say people only. So skilled personnel dedicated to establishing, optimizing, and operating the SOC, possessing the requisite competence and knowledge. Technology would be utilization of various applications and software tailored to monitoring, detecting, and responding over there. Right. So these are the job of those technologies. People. So these are what simply your skilled or specialized individuals, we can say, which are working in different level of your SOC. So your incident responder, your threat hunter, your L1 analyst, your L2 analyst, all of them are part of your people only. Okay. So these are the ones those should have a proper good technical knowledge. They should have a wide range of capabilities and experience also, right? So they are the ones those who will be monitoring and analyzing the large amount of data or the information that can be used for further investigation. Okay. So when you talk about people, no, in organization, I'll give you a typical structure, how an organization things looks like. As a structure, reporting structure, what do we have? We have CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, and then we have SOC Manager, and SOC Manager will be handling couple of members like your L1 SOC Analyst, L2 SOC Analyst, you can see your Incident Responder, and we also set a category like SME. SME stands for Subject Matter Experts. You can see a Threat Hunter as well over here. So kind of a typical structure I'm giving in terms of people. Those are the in SOC. Okay, everyone have their own responsible roles and responsibilities. Okay, so L1 analyst is there, which will do what? This security analyst, L1 SOC analyst. So they're responsible for monitoring the security alerts from the SIM solutions. So either they will close or pass the details to their L2 analyst for further final analysis as per the requirement. Okay, so they will do the, you can say they will either close or pass the event details to their L2 analyst. Okay, so they will be looking out, they will monitor the security alerts from the SIM solutions. So they do what? They create the use cases, you can say, and triage the alerts. Priyanka, in that sense, yes, we can. Jitendra, that is triad, and that are the core elements of information security. In the CIA, when we talk about, these are your triad. Okay, that is elements of information security. Triad means you can say identifying and verifying it, or regarding an incident, classifying the incident, what kind of incident it might be, and also prioritizing as well. Verify it is an incident, you can say there's something going on. Classify, for example, it's an SQL injection attack, and then we prioritize them as well. What should be the priority? Like initial job on which further lookout will be done by the L2 analyst, because that will be escalated by L1 analyst to L2 analyst. L2 analyst will be investigating on it. They'll investigate the scope and the impact. And if they want to make any changes, they will make on it. And then they will declare it as a proper incident and pass it to the responder. Right? And this responder will be doing what? Take the appropriate steps. So they will be remediating that incident, and simply closes it. Clear with this flow? Okay, put this question at the end. Like last 15-20 minutes, we'll keep it for the question answers only, and we'll discuss about it. Okay, all right, because it's like a scenario where you're saying, okay, an attack is going on and the cops are saying we cannot stop them. What we will do? We bring out the army is saying we cannot do anything. What's gonna happen? It's that kind of situation which you're saying. So okay, put this question at the end. We'll discuss on this. Next is SOC structure. It's kind of thing which we have already kind of discussed. So initially SOCs were primarily reactive, responding to security incidents after they occurred, relied heavily on manual processes and basic security tools. Over time, SOCs have evolved to adopt a more proactive approach. Modern SOCs have embraced integration and automation, enabling seamless collaboration between security tools and processes, right? So it's just that which we have discussed previously also. They have given good structured. See, frontliners are there. First level, you can see our L1 analysts are there, right? Then tier 2 is there, in which we have okay. Um, in this image, although we have mentioned incident responder, which is fine, okay. So they're saying that okay, tier 1 alert analyst and your even L2 analyst, they are considering the frontliners, and then they are saying tier 2 for the incident responder, and the third level would be for SMEs, threat hunters, for network intelligence, malware analysis, for the endpoint hunters as well. Their SMEs are the third level. Okay, you can also segregate it down if you want to. So you can say first level would be for L1 analyst, then second layer would be for L2, after which you can say third level would be for incident responder, after which the fourth layer would be for your SMEs, subject matter experts. Okay, and core one is SOC manager over there. Clear? This is something which we have already discussed in terms of the structure wise. So the same thing. Tier 1 triage, initial triage, analysis of alerts and escalation of genuine incident. Tier 2 investigation, in-depth investigation, analysis of escalated incidents and coordinating incident response. Tier 3 threat hunting, proactive threat hunting, advanced threat analysis, developing detection rules also over there. Okay, tries they have mentioned journalist job, define the event severity, provide initial response and handling measures like L1 which we are talking about. See the same thing. Tier 2 investigation, in-depth investigation is done. Determine the root cause of the event. Okay, provide event reports and recommendation for remediations and lists of escalated incidents and coordinating of incident response. Here we are concluding that incident response team, your data forensic team are also into the picture. Threat hunting is the third one, which is tier 3, proactive threat hunters. You can identify the vulnerabilities on their own. SMEs are being included over here. Improve the enterprise security and ensure that we are compliant. Jitendra, sorry, that is not the one. Hari, who's responsible? Data forensic team for the same. We should have, when we talk about that again, can be part of your SOC only. Digital forensic team. It's like, I would say, Hari, like what happens when an incident occurs, no? What do we do? Uh, Hari, depend organization to organization. Some organization will be giving it to the incident responder. Some organization will be having a separate department for that. It totally depending on the budgets, you know, in that manner. But yeah, separate department is there for that. Otherwise, we hire third party or governments are there. So what happens, just to give a good idea about it to everyone, you might have seen like in that incident we put it into a containment zone, right? So that it won't spread. We put into containment zone. Now, before we eradicate it as in before we remove that incident, what we do over here in this between this situation, I would say the digital forensics is also there. So what we do, we create an image of that original evidence. In those image, what we can do, we can investigate. Okay, here we try to find the RCA. RCA as in root cause analysis will be done. And we try to find the perpetrator. Perpetrator as in the attacker. If we are able to find that attacker, good, very great. It's a great thing. If not, then we try to give it to third party. If third party is able to find it, good. Otherwise, we'll drop it. But yeah, it's like we try to investigate on it. Digital forensics, for those who don't know what is digital forensics, just like which you have seen in normal, detective shows or any crime shows or any movies, you might have seen like whenever any crime scene happens, if there is any unalive body, uh entire forensic team goes to that location, right? They collect the evidences, they wear their own kits, They put some boundaries using those tapes or banners, I would say, those, that you cannot trespass this locate or this trespass this something something, those yellow tapes or something, but is whatever it is called, right? Here you will chalk it out, you know, regarding that body and something something whatsoever. You get the evidences from here. Click some pictures, right? You click some pictures over there, make some recording. You will investigate people as well, right? A lot of things is done. Jitendra, it will be started from here. That is the point of the story, that whether you have found a perpetrator or not, but it will start from here. Okay. Now you gather all of these things you have seen in these movies, right? In a normal criminal show, or movies, that we take the body to the forensic lab, then we try to investigate it over there on that body, that whether how that person got killed, what was the weapon which was used, whether that person was killed with the drugs, overdosing, or bullet or knife, when that person was killed, the time, the date, each and everything is being analyzed. Same thing is being done over here when we talk about in terms of digital forensics. So we collect the memories. So let's suppose you have a laptop, right? When we collect the memory would be a hard disk and like non-volatile and a volatile memory as well. Volatile as in RAM. When we talk about RAM, it's a volatile memory, as in it is temporary storage. Like for example, if you close your system and switch it on again, will you use or will you lose the RAM memory? Yes, Priyanka. Correct, right? Yes, exactly. This is what I'm trying to say. So we have to be very wise while you're collecting the data, right? So we collect these kind of a data, and in data forensics, guys, always remember one thing. Always remember this part, that we do not investigate on the original evidence. That's why I wrote what? I wrote image over here. So whatever the original evidence is there, we make a bit by bit replica of it, which is known as image, and then we investigate on this image so that we can find the real cause of it. If we make any changes on the original evidence, if we try to perform any, investigation on the original evidence, we might tamper it, and then again in front of court, it will be not admissible. We cannot show it in front of court because it is no more original. Make sense? This is the correct. Hurry also, yes, exactly. We maintain chain of custody also. It is like, since the time the evidence was gathered, this original evidence, since you capture it until it is being represented in front of court, whosoever has handled that original evidence, whatever the things has been done against that evidence, each and everything will be recorded. Every timestamp, every date, that person name, and the reason for making or handling that evidence, every that information is stored in the chain of custody, so that we can maintain the integrity of the evidence. Perfect. But yeah, a lot of things are there. Different logs are there. We have to capture for different things. Yes, Joel, correct. Like it's like you're following cyber kill chains or MITRE attack frameworks. You're getting to know about the attacker's next moves and how they perform an attack. You're trying to catch them beforehand. Anyone for this? What is internal SOC? Okay, one by one we'll go with that. What is internal SOC to you? Perfect. So internal SOC is staffed by full-time employees on site, like your own organization is having it, right? Correct. Your organization is having your own staff, own team members. You have all your own site SOC, and you have that good amount of a budget that you can handle it. So that is when you set up each and everything on your own. That is owned by the organization internally. That is known as your internal SOC. Then we have external outsourced SOC. What it is, also known as MSSP. Action would be third party vendor who does SOC operation for you. Yes, exactly. So if you do not have that amount of a human resource with you, you do not have that much amount of a you know uh, strength or good budget that you can, plant everything inside your own organization. So you do not have that infra, you do not have that much amount of a budget, you can say. So you go for outsourcing, or you contract with the external SOC, which is managed by the third party, or we call it MSSP. MSSP as in managed service, managed security service provider. Okay, they provide you the security monitoring and incident response services um, to the organization, right? So you can say, for example, any XYZ organization, they'll be outsourcing their security monitoring and incident response functions to any reputed MSSP. So that MSSP will be operating an external SOC, which is staffed by cybersecurity experts who will be monitoring your organization environment safely, and remotely they will do it, right? So they'll be using their own suite of security tools and technologies and provide you the continuous monitoring, the threat detection, and your incident response services also to the organization, right? What is okay, co-managed SOC? What is co-managed SOC? Anyone? So internal plus your external, right? Nice. Both organizations third party manage it together with shared responsibility. Co-manage would be like it. There is a shortfall of internal ones. They go for the external vendors, exactly. So, for example, a simple example, if I have to give you, for example, if you have a human resource power which will be working like from 9 to 5 and then 5 to uh, 1 a.m. maybe, right? But after that, you do not have enough amount of a human resource power or human powers to do the further monitoring, right? And your senior management is also not giving you the budget, or they're not allowing you to hire more employees, or hire more human resources. So what you do to cover those time period, because you have enough resources to go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. you can monitor, and then from 5 p.m. also till 1 a.m. you can monitor. But what about from 1 a.m. to 9 a.m.? We cannot leave it blank, right? Because SOC says what it needs: 24/7 continuous monitoring, right? We cannot leave it blank. And since the senior management is not allowing you to hire further more employees, what you do? You go for the external teams, then outsource this portion. So when you're doing that, this is like internal plus external goes with a hybrid or co-managed SOC. Then we have virtual SOC operated remotely with part-time or contracted workers. Right, I guess that pretty much is obvious. So virtual SOC, they operate remotely and they may consist of part-time or contracted workers who will provide you the security monitoring and incident response services without being, physically present in the organization premises. So for example, if there is any startup or technology startup that is rapidly growing, so it has created or established a virtual SOC to meet its security monitoring needs. So startup, they hire a team of part-time cybersecurity professionals who will be working remotely to monitor the organization's IT infra for security threats. So these professionals, they'll be using anything like cloud-based security tools and platforms to provide you, 24/7 security monitoring and incident response services, to that startup. That will be virtual SOC. Now we have global SOC. We also call it GSOC. Integrates intelligence technology for global security monitoring, right? Global SOC, when we are talking about global SOC or GSOC, it is like we are integrating intelligence and technology for global security monitoring. So it is something which is, I would say, typically operated by large MNCs, multinational organizations, or security service provider from a one location. They're maintaining toward the entire global locations. So see, for example, there's any large retail chain with stores and offices worldwide. Okay, so they established this GSOC to centrally manage their security operations across its global network. So this GSOC, okay, it will be like integrate the intelligence from various sources, including threat intelligence feeds, security events, local security incidents, to provide that security monitoring and incident response capabilities over there. So as I mentioned, it will be like, let's suppose there was a retail chain, a multinational retail chain, which will be storing and with which has multiple stores and offices spread across various regions of the world. Okay, different locations. So here we have GSOC, which will be centrally managing the security operations and make sure that we have a consistent security posture across all the locations. So here what we'll bring, we'll be integrating the intelligence technology for global security monitoring and incident response to make sure that we have a security posture across all the locations over there. So it is centrally monitored, you can say. Centralized security operations are done. So that GSOC will be serving as a central hub for security operations for monitoring, detection, and response, and other response activities across all retail locations. We can, but it's just that concept is like terms of global way, right? From one place, we are trying to control all the different locations. Yeah, correct, Manish. Okay.